everybody, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Brittany. I post makeup related content every single Friday between noon and 3 Pacific time. Today I have a super fun video for you guys. I am doing a behind the scenes / tutorial kind of my new short series. It's called Face Card Friday. It's where I'll be doing a full glam look based off of food or flavor each week. Time being, I will have my family suggest foods or ingredients to be my makeup inspiration. This week, to kick off the series, I asked my Aunt Tammy, and here's what she said. To kick off the series, we will be using turmeric as our inspiration. Turmeric is very warm, bold, gold, and kind of vibrant. I do kind of have a vision for how I want this look to go. We'll see if it actually goes that way, but I am very excited. For my eyeshadow base today, I wanted something more skin colored and natural colored, lighter than natural colored. So I am going to use my concealer. I am using the Born This Way Urethral Light by Too Faced, and I'm just going to pat it in all over my eyelid and maybe out a little bit. I want it to go all the way up to my brows. As our first shade, we're going to go in with a very, very light neutral shade all over just to set the concealer. The eyes are really going to be the star of this look, so I'm envisioning orange with a cut crease with yellow as the cut crease, if that makes sense. And then I do have a yellow eyeliner that we might use, but I don't know yet. If anything, I'll put it in my waterline. I think that could look really, really, really good. Let's try it. Just to kind of set the tone, I'm going to go into this palette. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I can't lie. Morphe by Nyan. Maybe? It is absolutely gorgeous. It has so many vibrant colors, and I love this palette. I think to start, we're going to go into M and Jen, this darker orangish shade right here. I have a different brush than normal. I have a super fluffy brush. I am going to load it up, and then I am going to pack it on that outer corner especially. And I am going to bring it a little bit in, but very lightly on the inner corner, and I'm going to stay above my eyelid. So I'm going to go more on under my brow bone. And then we're just kind of making the shape right now. As you can see, I am patting it and then doing little circles just to make the shape. I like that shape, yeah. We really want to pack it on that outer corner since this is going to be a cut crease. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm going to go into this Soul palette here. I'm going to go into this bright orangey shade right there. And I'm going to put that mostly on my lid and a little bit in my crease. The reason we're doing this is to add some more dimension, and I think this shade is a little bit more vibrant. When you're working with super bold colors and vibrant colors, or just doing anything out of your comfort zone, it is 100% a trust the process type dealio. Because it's not every day that I will put on bright orange and yellow eyeshadow. But in the end, I think this look really will come together. I really do. Now I'm going to take a clean, fluffier brush, bigger, fluffier brush, and I am going to buff those two together. Buff it out and blend together. Now comes the cut crease. I do have another video where I go in depth on how to do a cut crease. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend watching it if you are going to do a cut crease. I do go over different types. I go full lid cut crease, the one that goes, woo, it looks like a wave. And then the normal cut crease, which goes to about mid-eye. And then I also do the halo eye, which is the center of your eye. For this specific look, I am going to do the normal cut crease. A quick rundown, I'm going to take concealer and a super flat brush, and I am going to dip that brush, just the tip of it, in the concealer, and then I am going to cut my crease. To find your crease, you put some on your lid here, and then you look up, and then once you get that, then you can really cut your crease with the concealer. You also can use makeup remover as a cut crease as well. So you could put makeup remover on a Q-tip and pretty much do the same thing. but I like to use my brush. Just to kind of touch up that orange a little bit, I am going to go in, place it on the outer lid one last time just to touch it up. And I will more than likely do this again, to be completely honest. But just to make it a little bit subtler of a transition, I will be doing that. The other thing I'm going to do is kind of buff it out a little bit more with that super fluffy brush and go over that cut crease a little bit if I messed any up, which on this side I did. So I'm going to go in, touch it up a little bit, and then buff that out a little bit. Now comes the super fun part. For the bright yellow, I'm going to go into this palette, and I am going in to Soul, that really bright yellow. I am going to dip this brush in. I have a flatter brush. I am going to very carefully place it on my inner corner, and I'm going to tap it in. Now I'm going into this palette, and I'm going to go in with the shade. And I'm going to place it more towards the center of my lid. I'm going to go back in with that bright yellow, but I'm going to go in with my finger and see if that makes a difference. Okay, see, I just had to put like 10 layers on. Now I'm going to take that orange fluffy brush and I'm going to kind of buff these two together in the middle of my lid, and then I'm going to go just over the top one more time. Now I'm going to clean up the fallout and I'm going to exfoliate my face, and my base is going to be kind of the same for the most part. Once it gets to the part where I'm going to add more turmeric type things, I will come back. To do under my eyes. Now I'm going to go into the brightest orange that I used on my lids. I'm going to go in with a fluffy, flatter brush, just the tip. I'm going to go along my under eyes, just to the halfway point, or a little past. Now I'm going to take a more dense brush, but still really small. I'm going to pack it on with that bright yellow that we used. And I'm going to put this along my lower lash line towards the inner corner and in the inner corner. Now would be a good time for eyeliner. I think I'm going to use a yellow eyeliner on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to do a miniature black wing. Now I'm dipping into the darkest shade of my Mikayla palette with a flat angled brush. And I am just going to go in with the tip really loaded up. Tap off the excess. And do a little wing. So now we're going to take a fluffy brush and just kind of wipe away all of that loose powder that we put on. Now the reason I put my powder on before I do my under eye eyeshadow is because it'll catch all of the fallout and just brush off. Whereas if you don't have that, sometimes if there is fallout, depending on the shadow, it will stay on your makeup, and that's a no-no for me. Next up, we have bronzer and blush. Bronzer, we're keeping it the same. We're going to use e.l.f. I have used a lot of e.l.f. today. If you've been watching me, you know e.l.f. is one of my favorites. I use their bronzer. Typically, I use their blush as well. Today, I used their Soft Glam foundation. I'm giving it another shot. I didn't love it last time I used it, and honestly, I'm not loving it this time either. The reason being is that it just kind of, I don't want to say peels on my face, but it doesn't stay the way that my NARS one does. And what I mean by that is it doesn't even stay to the end of my videos. Right now it's already picking up a little bit, and it just doesn't mix well with the concealers I use. And it could just be my base, or it could just be my skin prep, but I used a different skin prep last time and it's doing pretty much the same thing. So I probably won't be using it again, and if I do, it's gonna be a whole different process. It literally just came off of my nose. For blush, I have been super excited about this blush. I think I want to use an orange blush. Here's the problem. I don't own one. Oh, shocker. But I don't really own an orange blush. So I have a few eyeshadows that we are going to use as blush. That's a lie. I do have a couple oranges, but they're not really the orange that I'm looking for, but I am going to start with it. I am going to go in to my Toy Factory Sunset. Sounds ridiculous, but it does have an orange shade in there, and we are going to use that. And we're just going to see how it looks. So we're going to go into the Mikayla Glamlite palette, and we're going to go into Buffalo Chicken. That bright orange right there. That looks very pigmented. Highlighter, since turmeric is kind of golden, orangish, yellowish, I wanted to do a gold highlight. I have never used this gold highlighter before. It's my Wet n Wild Spongebob. Oh yeah. The other thing I'm going to do with this shade, with my highlight, is I'm going to take it on a pretty dense circular-ish brush. I'm going to put it in my inner eye corner. I'm going to touch up my brows again, do my mascara, and then I'll be back for lips. So I kept going back and forth on lips today. I really couldn't decide on what I wanted to do. I will fully admit I played around with the thought of doing purple lips, because purple is across from yellow on the color wheel, so I was like, oh, maybe that would go together. And honestly, I think it would ultimately, but I didn't have the stuff for it. Oopsies. So we are gonna do a brown lip today. So I have my MAC Spice lip pencil, and we're gonna line our lips. Then I have a NARS lipstick in the shade Rose Cliff, and it's a little mini. It is a little more natural than brown. Here's the final look. I'm obsessed. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you loved this, please hit that like and consider subscribing. I do post makeup related content every single week. And if you want to see more of my Face Card Fridays food editions, go check out my TikTok, because that is where a majority of them will be. Please be sure to comment what food I should do next week. See you guys next time.